from another planet? Is Janet 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 from another planet?
We live in a complicated world, and I believe we, the people, have the right to know what's happening in our towns, cities, and states. The mainstream media does not have our best interest at heart, and I want to share some information from around our great nation so we can fight back by being informed. Join me each week as we go after hours and get behind the scenes to uncover the truth.
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello. Welcome tonight, everyone, to a special show because my guest tonight is 24/7 Fusion Media. And I've been wanting to ask him for a while, but it just seems like every time I turn around, something comes up and couldn't work it out. But I just want to say thank you for joining me this evening. How are you?
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm just glad that we could finally make it happen. So
So am I. Because your channel is very interesting, and we do like hang with the same people, a lot of the same people,
right.
Since the beginning when I first started just hanging out really in the chat, not really doing anything. I didn't do videos or anything like that. I would just hang out, go to the Star Trek, listen to the Friday night tights guys, geeks and gamers, Az from Heel versus Babyface, Clobby from Clobber and Time, all the same group of people that I just love hanging out with because I love geeking out and listening to what other people have to say and where they're at in their lives. So tonight it's going to be about you. I'd like to know all about how you started your channel, what motivated you to do it, and what you like to do on your channel and different things like that, and where you're heading. If you don't mind, you can tell us all about it, and I will share the links to your X. So anyone who wants to follow you on X can, which used to be Twitter. And then I'm going to share your YouTube channel. I'll bring it up and you can tell us about it and as we go down it, look at it.
Thank you.
So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
My name is 24/7 and my channel is called 24/7 Fusion Media.
Mm-hmm.
And I was born in New Jersey, raised between the South Bronx in New York and out in Houston. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm in Houston. And
Mhm.
I've been um, a big fan of media and all its different forms. And I love a lot of things: movies, television shows, cartoons, comic books, video games. Yeah, I love all those kind of things, and I'm also a collector of like physical media.
Mhm.
I love collecting records. I got so many records, albums, 45s, 33 and the thirds, you name it. I have own a few record players.
What's your favorite type of music that you like to collect?
Hmm. I like big band style music. I like old like Sinatra. I do
So like the
enjoy
Rat Pack?
Rat Pack, right? I
Yeah, my
do.
mother had lots of albums. I remember her listening to them and doing I don't know what that's called, where I, um,
Yeah,
I
you,
don't know, where you
it's
twist your waist. It's not
yeah,
the twist, it was called something else.
like the mashed potato
Yeah, I guess that might be it.
or the
But she
Smith.
loved all of that. She loved Dean Martin and she
Right,
loved Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, all of them. And
right.
so when you said that, it sort of popped in my head. That's why I wanted to ask you a little bit about that. So, what got you started in collecting albums and records?
Well, I mean, my brother was a DJ, and from there, I learned how to appreciate music more. And
Hmm.
from it's like at that time, there was a lot of that's when I don't know. Nowadays, it seems a little bit different, but back then, it's like there was a lot of good things out that for the time, like a lot of things felt like magic. Like music was, you know, I don't know. It's like like 80s, 90s. It's like it's like there's so many like movies and there's so much music that define the era.
Hmm.
You just learned, especially now, as gotten older, you got to sit back and really appreciate all of it. And it's not just one thing or another. It's all of it. It's like when you go back and you listen to the music, you watch the movies, you watch the shows. Um, it's like everything's encaptured in a specific time period, and it's like it's like you have to have been there to know the feeling, to know like the cultural impact that all this stuff had, as you were growing up. And it's
Hmm.
like, and it's just one of those things that I just found the love for all these things as I got older. And then I guess being a manager at Blockbuster, kind of pulled me in as well.
Wow, to
Yeah,
get to work at Blockbuster during that era of
right.
time, wow, you're a lucky guy
Yeah,
because so many people um, right now today with it's crappy as movies and stuff are
right.
there. I mean, trying to sit and watch a movie on your TV at home and get the same enjoyment that we used to get going to the movie theater.
Right.
I still do it. I all during COVID, I used to get dressed and go to the movies if it
Mhm.
was open because just to try to keep them having some money coming in
Right.
and the experience of getting to sit there and have your popcorn in your lap on the
Mhm.
big screen and the
Right.
sound effects all around you, it envelops you and it brings you into it,
Right.
more than sitting at home where the dog is barking or
That's true.
other noise are going on, people come to the door. It's just not the same experience, and I
No.
feel bad for all the young people who are never going to get to have the chance to just like my mom used to tell us girls, that she wished that we could have had gotten to go to the drive-in movies and things like that, like they did when they were young, because it's just not the same anymore. So we're going through the same thing now. We're losing movie theaters, and now we're doing streaming at home, and it's just not the same. You don't have the hands-on with people, meeting people at the movie theater or the bowling alley. Fun things like that. We just don't seem to interact. We're stuck at home looking at the boob tube.
That's true. That's true. It's unfortunate. That's what COVID did to a lot of society, and not just, from what I'm understanding, it's not just here, it's worldwide. It's like a lot of people they got affected by it. A lot of people are now just conditioned to stay home and not take the risk of going out and at least interacting with other people. Like you say, going to the bowling alley or going to a movie theater. It's the one thing I tell my son, it's like the one thing I tell him is it's like life is all about people. No matter what happens, you always got to be around people. So you might as well take the extra initiative to see how people are. And something with COVID took out a lot of the human interaction. Now people are a lot more colder with each other. A lot of people are a lot more hostile and or really non-social, So with all that, with a lot of people preferring just to stay home, it's like a lot of businesses die. And of course, that's our movie theaters as well.
Yep. Sad.
Yeah.
But hopefully some new things will start coming up, because I'm starting to see, I'm going to ask you if you saw the movie. There was a new movie out right now. I think it's got Ryan Gosling in it.
Yeah, Hail Mary.
I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait to see it. The trailer looks awesome. But one thing I do know about it is that they didn't use CGI. They used puppetry to make the creature.
Right.
And I'm hoping that we can step back a little bit and use that type of thing that we used to make movies with, more interactive. You have to use your mind more and actually work at acting. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm hoping that young people will start liking that enough to where they start to bring a lot of that back, because I think we've lost a lot just in the culture of movies. And, we don't even have music videos anymore. That really sucks, because I used to love those. And I'm hoping that people getting involved in it more, young people getting inspired to say, I want to make movies, or I want to do it YouTube, or I want to do Rumble or Kick, to get more imaginations out there and start creating their own content and making something, for other people to enjoy, like you do with your videos that you do.
Well, thank you. I know. Thank you so much. I know one thing I noticed is that to your credit, it's funny that you mentioned it, and a lot of people really don't talk about it, is that the way movies are made are not the same anymore. It's like people prefer they choose a green screen over making a live set, like making a actual building a whole set. And the thing is like doing those kind of things along with, let's say, what Jim Henson used to provide, his studio used to make puppets or just different things to that effect for so many different studios. We talking Yoda, we talking so many other just different movies that necessarily didn't need him, or didn't need the Muppets, or they just needed his magic as a puppeteer. Just little things like that have been taken out of movies. And of course AI or CGI is really CGI, and AI is coming, and it's like but but again, when you have these new directors and everything else coming in, they're accustomed to doing things the way Hollywood does it now, instead of taking the time to learn how to make movies the way they used to back then. And it's like something's being lost in the transition of how they make movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not working out. It's not being effective, because now we're seeing how bad things are going, and it's to the point where Paramount's trying to like save theaters. It's like shit.
Well, it has a lot to do with lots of different things, not just that one thing. But real quickly, I want to say thank you to Brett for sending me a $5 super chat saying lots of hugs, Janet. The movie theaters are where the magic happens. And he's right. Yeah. And the only way you get people to go to the movie theater is by making movies people want to watch, right, and drive to the theater to watch. Yes, I hear so many people today saying, oh, I'll just wait till it comes out on streaming, because it's not worth going to the movies to see it. But this movie that we were just talking about, the trailer alone looks like a movie that I'd be interested in going to the theater, paying more for popcorn, more for candy and a drink, and to get in, just to get the experience of actually being in a theater. But you're right. People were saying that AI was going to ruin movies. But guess what? They were getting ruined way before AI even really started doing a lot. Right. Bruce had a movie he had me watch. It was called Gamers Darkness Rising, because I had never seen it. And I had just started playing on his Pathfinder Dungeons and Dragons type game that he was doing himself as a dungeon master, and he wanted me to see it. But what I loved about it was that it was a bunch of young people that wanted to make a movie, and they made their own sets, they made their own costumes, they pretty much did everything, and it was on a shoestring budget. Okay. And it wasn't perfect, they weren't paid, big actors or anything, but guess what? It was so entertaining, and I loved it. And it ended up pushing all of them up into the limelight because of people were entertained by their movie. And as long as we can get young people that look up to you or look up to other people, whatever it is that they decide to do, and they get inspired to do it, then we're going to keep having more and more people wanting to do those things. But when you tell them to stay at home and not excel, you pay them to stay at home and do nothing, you're not inspiring people. You're not inspiring young minds to want to be like an astronaut. I was a kid, and my dad started watching reruns of Star Trek with me, and it made me want to go on the Enterprise one day and hopefully, be in the Star Academy, Star Trek Academy. But the thing is, all of us have something different. I mean, what was it that you, besides your brother being a DJ, that inspired you to want to start your own media, Fusion Media, and do videos and stuff on YouTube?
Like I said, from the time, like around 2016, from the time I first started seeing you, on, what's up, Bone? And how, sorry, everybody out there, like to say hi. I'm just in the conversation, but like say, what's up? Hello to everybody out in the chat. Hopefully you guys are doing good, and thank you all for being here. So thank you. And but what happened was back in like 2016, we started circling all the same, watching, world-class bullshitters, watching Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, eventually with Doomcock. And I mean, we can go on and on, but we can go through a whole list, and I saw you everywhere I went. And I just, and it was like in all those places, what I noticed was more and more I wanted to be a part of the conversation. It's like, I would always have something to, to say, but you can't say nothing if you're at home in the chat and you're watching, and all you can do is like type a few things, and maybe your message you get seen a little bit better if you become a channel member and all this other stuff. And it's like, and it was just like all the shit. And I was like, look, I want to go ahead and, get a chance to talk to these people and hopefully, through hard work, and I could build myself up and might, maybe not, but hopefully get a chance to meet, a lot of the people that I've been watching all this time. So it took years, and it by the time it was the end of 2019, like the January of 2020 was when I actually started. And that's when I met, Mike, Mexican Iron Man, and I've always been watching Echo Base Network for years. And actually, Mexican Iron Man, Mike, and Nick and Coach from Echo Base Network, they were the ones that helped me get started when I first started. And that was like my first year. And then from there, I learned how to edit and everything else, and started doing my own videos. And then, it started building from there, trying to get better, trying to get faster, trying to see, if I can do more. And then, during it's been almost 7 years now. And during all this time, we've seen, I've seen channels grow. I've seen channels fall. I've seen people pass away. I've seen, people become, close friends, become bitter rivals and enemies. I've seen all kind of things happen. And then it's like, when you're a content creator, you see even more. And because why, I'm not telling nobody's business, but what I'm saying is, you get to see a lot of the other stuff that a lot of people don't see. And, but, if anything, I've learned, to appreciate all the content creators that have, come out, and all I've wanted to do was get a chance to have a talk with them the same way I'm having a talk with you. And I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time, and we're pushing almost close to a decade.
Oh,
and
I feel really bad now.
No, it's cool.
I feel
cool.
like I wish I'd
again,
been able to...
it's thankful. I mean, this is going to be like the first of more to come, but I'm just, we're talking, and I'm having a great time, and I'm just, letting you all know that I'm a guy that's been around. I've seen, all the situations, good or bad, happen. I've been around for all of it. And, because I'm still, again, I'm subscribed to everybody, and I try to keep up with everybody. And it was basically seeing everybody grow, and seeing the culture war within, like, that's another part of it. I think that's another thing that kind of pulled us all together, was basically seeing how a lot of the things that we enjoyed were getting, destroyed. And for, we were trying to understand why. And at first, it took us a few years to figure out what was happening. And then once we figured out the aha, then it was like, well, what do we do about this? And, it's just dealing with it. And it's hard when you've grown up enjoying a lot of things, and, it doesn't matter how old you are, if you're a man or a woman, or you're a kid or whatever, none of that matters. When you sit there and you enjoy something, no matter if it's something you watched, a TV show, a movie, a video game, a cartoon, an anime, a video, whatever, no matter what it is, comic books, no matter what it is, you enjoyed what you enjoyed. And then for some reason, in the last like 10 good years, you watched damn near everything you loved just get butchered, and you're wondering what, and it's like, and then the thing is, we all tried to like deal with it and figure it out together as a community. And that's the thing that I ended up enjoying even more. It wasn't like, okay, maybe one or two of us are feeling fucked up about this. Now it was a whole, and I mean, it was a whole bunch of us. And of course, in the grand scheme of things, we're just a small percentage, but our small percentage was very big to us. And it was a whole lot of us feeling a particular way. And we were all trying to deal with it together. Star Trek, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Superman. I mean, you name it. It was like everything was getting touched.
Marvel.
Yeah. And the cool thing about us, is that, we all basically still hung around the same circles trying to talk about it. And now, we joke about it more than probably anything, but it's like when it was all happening and it was really like, damn, they're trying to do this to Kirk. Fuck, they're trying to do this to Spock. Oh my God, what they're trying to do with this show? And you're just like, oh no, please. And it's like, and then it's like, all right, but as a community, we all dealt with it together. And that's what, and it was good to be a part of that, because honestly, it felt like we were all, like we're all a part of this, and I mean, it's like,
we are a part of it. See? Yeah. And we haven't stopped.
Right.
Just like you said, you and I are still going and supporting the people that we were supporting from the beginning.
Right.
But we're adding a few new here and there.
Right.
Like me, I'm still going to X and still doing spaces and stuff, even though I could be doing a live stream.
Right.
See, I could be doing a live stream, but I enjoy getting to talk and sit with these people and just talk and listen to what they think is important and hear other people's perspective. And that's one thing that I think that we've really lost on is so many people aren't going out, like we were talking about earlier, about going out and meeting people in public, right? So now they're doing it online. The only difference between some of the people that I've met in spaces and things like that is that I haven't physically met them. Now I have some. There's quite a few that I've met in person that I've talked to. That they talk to me on the phone and things like that outside of this stuff.
Right.
But I'm real picky because it's scary. I've gotten death threats on my YouTube channel. People saying that they wanted me to go to another planet, commit suicide. I've had people say they were going to slit my throat. I had one person on Mother's Day.
I never received one of those, but I heard that gets kind of common once you start ruffling up some feathers. So a lot of people get it, but and I'm by myself, so I don't have an assistant. And I'm sure you don't. Right. That can go through your mail and do all your stuff for you. No. So we have to do it ourselves, which means it puts us at risk if there is someone out there that wants to that's true.
Do you harm. I mean, remember, wasn't it right before the election when people were being doxxed, and I went to my local sheriff's department, because I have a daughter that lives here with me, and I don't want some wacko to call in and say that I'm doing something and have the SWAT team show up.
Right.
It's just ridiculous that people get so anal about some of these things that they're willing to hurt other people. That's what's scary, because that's what I talk about. I talk out to try to get people not to do those things. And if you're surrounded by people like that, then you need to start working on changing your environment of the people that you spend time with, because that kind of thing slowly poisons your own self to other people by judging people instead of, like you and I, if we were to sit and watch some movies together and start, interacting a little more like that, I wouldn't judge you on anything besides what we, communicate about. You know what I mean? You being yourself around me, to me, is the best thing, because when I get to see someone and get to spend time with them and get to know who they are one-on-one, without other people around, you don't have to worry about them putting on, airs or
Right.
making up stories or whatever else to impress people. Because when you're in other places like spaces or someone's building their, as you can tell on my X, I only have 12,000 followers, and there's other people that came on years after me and have 25,000. I'm not on there just to get people, to follow me. I'm on there to learn about what's going on in the different states and what's going on in gaming, and all the different things, just like you were saying. And to me, I think that's way more important. And guess what? If people don't like me, oh well, I don't really care. My life doesn't end, tomorrow the sun still comes up tomorrow, and I still go to work, and whatever. It doesn't change that much.
It's funny you say that. That's I've said that before. I said that years ago on a live stream of mine that I can't get canceled. Why? Because if no matter what happens on social media, that doesn't mean shit. I can still walk outside, do all the things I need to do. My life doesn't end at that point. Like, my breath doesn't get cut no shorter, like just because of some bullshit that happens on the internet. Like that doesn't affect me, but I do understand, exactly, where you're coming from. And, man.
Well, I was just sharing, I want to let everybody know, I was just sharing his X profile a minute ago, and I'm going to share his links again for his YouTube and his X. If you're on X, give him a follow. But I'm going to bring up your YouTube channel.
Sure.
And would you tell us a little bit about it and how you have it set up and what different things when you put the videos out, what was your meaning behind it? Was there a purpose, or was it just for pure entertainment or for yourself? Because I do a lot of videos that are just for me to get my, because I got a few pissy ones on there.
Yeah.
I make. Like woman's work, and I do different ones depending on my attitude. So do you do that too?
Well, actually, the one thing I noticed is like, when I do videos or I do, anything else, it's like, how can I say this? People are very particular with, I guess, with what they want from my channel. And lately, I've been back for about maybe 3 weeks, and about maybe almost close to a month.
Yeah.
And I've been, and I've been away for like maybe 7-8 months. And what I noticed is when I came back, I started doing live streams and not so much videos, but I'm going to get back to it here in the next week or so. But I wanted to come back and basically figure out how to live stream a little bit more differently and learn how to switch topics. And again, I've been watching you do a lot of things, and I see how you handle a lot of topics, when you go, and you pace them and everything. And I'm just like, okay. So I've been watching you and a lot of other folks, and I was like, well, all right, let me see if I can do something a little bit different. And that's what I've been, doing lately, watching different videos, AI generated stuff like superhero fights, different things we probably wouldn't have seen or probably would never see in a theater, but people are trying to create it on their own channels. And just to see regular content creators like me or you, or, folks that have way less subscribers than us, try to generate this big spectacular AI fight, for 5-10 minutes. And it's just like, okay, let's see if it's good or not. But, but I still give respect for someone that's trying to put in the effort to try to create something, because doing all that shit, whether folks like it or not, it's not easy.
No, it's a lot of work.
All that. So, I just try to watch it and, give my take on it, but I don't try to destroy it because somebody still took the time out to create it. But that's just one of the few things I still look at what's going on in pop culture, all the different topics of the new movies. What are the topics with like Harry Potter right now? There's so much shit with all kinds of different things, and I sit there and I watch all that, and I'm gonna start like covering a lot of those things even more. Let's say like with Alan Richardson getting into that fight. I know you saw that, right? And when he was driving through his neighborhood, he fought his neighbor, and
yeah, when he was riding his motorcycle, right?
Right, and
some guy stood in front of him,
right, and
like
it was like, and then you get to find out the first day that story broke, you only got the some of the footage and that was filmed, and basically the neighbor's version of it. Then you come to find out he had a camera on him the whole time, and when you see the other part of it, you're like, oh, come on now. The neighbor jumped in front of him, made him fall off his bike and all this other shit. And it's like, well, so I'm keeping up with, all the shit that's happening, with all the shows and everything else. And it's like trying to see if I could format all those topics in maybe a 2 or 3 hour, live stream instead of just making a shitload of videos.
Yeah.
So I'm just, trying to figure out like, how do I do it a little bit better, be a little bit more efficient? Will it, but it's, will it cost me subscribers? Will people still be, people be interested in this? Because I've been gone for, 7-8 months. So, just trying to come back and do something different. And, hopefully people will, be still willing to, to ride with me on the way I'm trying to do this a little bit differently. So
I think they will. I think they will. And one thing that I always recommend to everyone, I know most of the guys don't like it, is I say, make some shorts. I don't know if you remember, there was a gentleman that one of the first people I met when I started doing actual stuff his name was Amen Fade. And he had a lot of struggles himself with, I think it was drugs and alcohol and stuff. But he had also had a Christian channel where he would talk about the Bible and things like that. He had 2 different channels. But I told him he had a beautiful dog, and he did a lot of things with the swords and things like that. I told him to just make some shorts, put a couple little shorts on, give it a snippet, like even take a snippet from one of your videos, a highlight or something, and put it out as a short. Just because it gets pushed out there in the algorithm and someone clicks on it and says, hey, this guy's pretty cool, they're going to go to your channel and they're going to start looking at your other stuff. So if you can just get people to come, 1 or 2 more a week, that's a boost. And it only takes a little bit more time to post a short. I'm always doing a lot of shorts, but that's where I started. I started making goofy videos.
Yeah, I remember. I love those. I remember all those.
TikTok, So that's one thing I always recommend. And I've been hounding Bruce about it for a while, and as you can tell, he's not listening to me because the only ones he has on there are ones that I made for him to put on there. But and I'm happy to help. I've already told a few people that if you want me to make a commercial or whatever for your channel, for fun, I'll dress up in my costume and, as my alien self or whatever, and do some stuff. Bruce was getting monetized there for a while. I think he still is, but he's been, so many things have been going on, in his own life. I made him a couple commercials, little shorts for coffee commercials, like, I like my coffee hot. Like that, just stupid stuff for him for fun, because I like doing it. It's fun. And if I can help my friends, I'm willing to try, try that kind of stuff. But it just depends on what you're looking for, in your, in your realm. See, that's why I like having such a huge variety of things. I do comedy, I do movies, I do politics, I do play, I do all kinds of stuff. So hopefully I have at least one thing that someone's interested in. But I'm, this is my life. I mean, I don't really have much of a, I don't really do anything. This is my social life. So that's why I put everything into it. It's this is what I enjoy doing. This is entertainment for me. I'm not making money yet. Haven't made any profit at all.
Right. Yeah.
And I spend over $25 a month just to be able to stream. But I do it because I love doing it. It's fun. And I've met so many awesome people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can see why you do it. And I've seen you in the lots and lots of chats for many, many hours, especially over on Kloppy's channel,
Right.
Which I really miss him. I love Star Trek and I love comic books.
Yeah.
And he was such a gentleman. And he could tell he just burst almost with love for comics.
Yeah.
You could tell in his
Very
voice,
knowledgeable.
the way he talked about the characters, the colors in the pages, just everything about it. He just loved it, and it was really hard. I mean, a lot of people went through like months and months of depression after Kloppy passed, even though his channel wasn't a giant channel like Nerdrotic or As or Geeks and Gamers, anything like that. But he touched so many of us just because of his personal touch that he gave all of us. He treated each of us like we were all stars, you know?
Yeah.
He was such a doll. I just really miss him.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, he was something special, you know, still is. Yeah, he was very passionate, you know, about, you know, what he enjoyed and what he loved, and you know, he wouldn't budge on how he felt, and you know, he was a, you know, great man. And
Yeah.
one thing I'm thankful for is you know, his channel is still up, and you know, you could still see him there, you know, and that's I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, there's a few people I think that are still keeping his channel going and doing shows. I'm trying to remember everyone. There's 3 or 4 people, different people that I've seen on different shows talking about the comic books and stuff.
Yeah, there's Nick Weiser.
Yeah, Nick Weiser, and there's another person, but I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. But the thing is that that's because he touched so many people that people just want to keep him going. You know, you don't want to let go of the rope. You know, I don't know if that makes sense or if that was a good one or not. But I was looking at your YouTube channel and I saw that your #1 first video up there was your tribute to Kloppy, and he was just a wonderful person. Mike was he was just kind.
Yeah.
And he loved what he did. He even used to have a comic book shop.
Yeah.
In New Orleans when I lived down there. So I'll shut up now. So you go ahead and start talking about some of the things that you have on your channel. And I know that you've asked a few people because they do have a thing now. It's called your community, where you can make posts. Okay. And I have read some of your posts about, you know, different things. I think they were older, but you were asking about what kind of stuff would you like to see, you know, me do, things like that. Just keep doing stuff like that and keep posting. Try to post on your community page and grow your community. And I do recommend trying to do a few, go through your older videos and take snippets out and make some shorts out of them. That's what first thing I would try.
Okay. That I'll give that a go. You know, because
you had lots of people following you from the stuff that you did before you took your what was 7-month break, right? So take stuff from that and bring it back out and see what kind of reaction you get from the people that were already following you and the new people. Then you interact that and come up with some new stuff using those. That's what I would do. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to go back and look at, you know, what I've done. So yeah, I'm gonna have to work that out.
You'll do it. You'll do well. Just be you, because people that were following you liked you for who you were. They liked what you did. They liked what they watched when you were doing your streams and making your videos. So, you know, one thing I know that I've heard a lot of people talk about with different things is that when somebody starts out doing one thing and then they totally change it because supposedly they got a boss or a person and starts telling them, well, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. So basically they become bland, you know,
Right.
like everybody else. People can change channels on YouTube or any other, Rumble, the others, just like they do on TV.
Right.
So if you don't have something that people like, then they're going to go to the next person. And if you're on there trying to grow,
Right.
then you're not going to grow. So I don't really care. I just do what I want. And I mean, I like the interaction I get when people are interacting with me
Mhm.
about different things, but it's not what runs everything for me. You know what I mean? It doesn't make me say, oh, all my show is going to be about this. I'm never going to talk about politics anymore. I'm not, you know, I don't do that. I have a lot of stuff, you know, I'm involved in a lot of things.
You're
Someone might
well-rounded.
like something.
Yeah, you're well-rounded. Yeah, I've noticed that about you. Yeah, you do have you can basically talk about anything. So
Well, you know, just like I said, I'm a military brat and I have 4 sisters. You have to talk a lot
right.
to get a word in edgewise with 5 daughters, you know, if you think about it. So maybe that's part of the reason I turned out like this.
Mhm.
I don't know. But you could do it. I mean, you could do anything you want. You just gotta test everything, try a few things, do this, do that, and see what happens. Thank you so much, Brett. I appreciate you. And maybe we will meet. I have 5 or 6 people that are talking about trying to do like a meet and greet, but like only in a few states, you know, like let's say Arkansas, and then you take the states around Arkansas and have everybody come to like an Arkansas Comic-Con. You know, so that's not that far away. You're not having to fly somewhere like all the way to Florida, something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that would yeah.
And do
That would,
small ones. You know, if we get some groups where you can have Devil Flyer, you know, and other people in our area all get together and all go out somewhere, you know, hang out at a restaurant or a bar or whatever,
right.
and just get to meet everyone. I think it'll be a lot of fun,
Yeah, that would be
especially
nice. Yeah.
since once we all like do streams together, things like that, where we feel more comfortable.
Mm.
I think it'd be wonderful. It'd be a lot of fun, I
Yeah,
think.
it
And
would.
then if we can get someone to film some of it, and then we all go back and make our own little videos from our, you know, because I have a GoPro that I can wear, you know, and has all the attachments.
Yeah, you
That
sound you ready already. Yeah.
See, that'd be great. I think it'd be great. It'd be a
Yeah,
lot
that
of fun.
would be a great idea.
So do you have anything you got besides any new ideas of something new that you're wanting to maybe start out doing now that you're back?
Well, there's a few things. I'm just was trying to actually figure out live streaming a little bit more, like try to be a little bit more engaging, you know, and that's why I've been doing live streams since I've been back instead of just directly going back to doing videos.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to see what's going to work because I've done videos since the beginning and I've done live streams, but not too much. Now trying to see if I do a live stream every day covering the things that I would have done in videos,
Mhm.
would that, you know, would that equal up to be the same thing? Would it be worse? Would it be better? You know, I won't know until I try. So this is like my 3 weeks, you know, almost to a month in to see what would be you know, a better way to do it. And
And
then,
also remember, when you do your streams, your live streams, you can also take snippets out of it
right,
and make videos with them. So you have more content
right.
to work with when you do a stream. And you know, every Saturday, Bruce doesn't know how to do a a short game. It's either 6 to 8 hours long.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going live, with him
Right.
for 6 to 8 hours, but we're not really doing anything. It's a grid, and we're just rolling dice and
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
moving
that.
our people around. So it's kind of, and I crochet or whatever. Also, while I'm watching, while we're playing,
Right.
so I'm doing multitasking or whatever. But it's fun. I really, really love gaming. Do you do anything like that? Do you play Pathfinder or any of those, or do you play Xbox and stuff?
Yeah, actually, I was gonna ask you because you were talking about gaming. What kind of gaming what do you do?
Well, when I do this, there's only one game I really like right now, and that's called a Goat Simulator. I don't know if you've ever
Oh,
heard of
Goat
it.
Simulator. Yeah, I've
Okay,
seen.
I laugh. I love it because it puts me in a good mood, and I just laugh the whole time. Usually,
Okay.
my stomach hurts the next day from laughing, and I've never done it live. Bruce keeps saying I need to do it live, but I
Yeah.
don't know how to set it up to where I can see the game and people can see me. I don't know how to do that.
Uh,
I'll have to figure that out.
yeah, there's that.
But
I think
have you ever played
honestly,
it?
I think it would be easier than what you think.
Have you ever played Goat Simulator?
No, actually, I've seen it. And I've seen people play it, and
It's
that's why
just
when
as
you said it, I
stupid as
was
it
like,
looks.
yeah, okay. And it's funny because I
You
so
play too? Yeah.
I have an Xbox,
Xbox
PlayStation.
Live. Yeah. I don't have any. I just have it on my computer. I don't have
Right.
an actual one. Now I used to have my old one, my original, and I played, oh my goodness, Munch's Odyssey, um, uh, Baldur's Gate,
Baldur's Gate, yeah. There you go.
all kinds of games like that. I used to love it. That was so much fun. And when all that started going out and it started getting to be, we don't even have a disc now. It's like
Mhm.
it's just weird. But I started doing this, I started doing streaming and stuff. So it's kind of like I don't really have a lot of room now. You know what I mean?
Right,
To actually sit and play games. But if
right,
I could learn how to play and stream, like I see so many people doing it, and
right.
they make it look so easy. But boy, I tell you,
And
my
you-
first 4 or 5 streams, I just sat and cried, Bone and everybody. I felt so
Well-
bad because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, actually, that's another thing I started doing too. Matter of fact, Bone can tell you in the chat that he's watched me play. There's a game that I'm playing called Where Winds Meet.
Never heard of that one.
It's a free game. You can actually play it. You could play it on the Xbox. It's a free game that you can play on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, on Epic. Those are the gaming systems. I mean, the little gaming platforms for the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And but they're free on all platforms basically. And I've
Well,
been
that's
playing
nice.
that, and people have been enjoying it. And when I play, I'm seeing about 5 to 6 people sticking around to watch me play it. And throughout a live stream, I'll get about 30 people coming through on the live stream. But when I'm sitting there watching it, about 5 or 6 people will stick around to watch me play that all the way through, until I stop, and then I'll pick up the next day. And that was
Mhm.
another thing that's also like an experiment. I've never sat here and just gamed on my channel. All I've done was all these videos, but a part of being what I've always wanted my channel to be was being a channel that I can do my live streams, I can game sometimes, and also do my videos. But I've done strictly videos, some live streams every now and then, and no video gameplay at all.
Mhm.
So what I wanted to do at first is what I'm able to do now, but people are so used to me doing what I've been doing that it seems like it's hard for them to see me trying to do what I would do in
Something
videos
else?
and a live
Yeah.
stream and then add gameplay to that as well.
Mhm.
So it's different. And but what I wanted to tell you is it's not as hard as what you think. It's funny because I'm a guy that knows nothing about computers, and I was able to figure out how to game with my Xbox controller connected to my PC, and I'm gaming, and everybody can watch me play,
Mhm.
and so I'd be more than happy to help you, because I had to sit there and figure it all out the hard way, and it was a lot of Googling and everything else, but hopefully I can, save you a headache in a few steps.
Well,
So
that was one thing I was going to say. I did Google a bunch of things
right.
trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, because what it was is that I had paid for 1 full year. Okay. I saved my money and bought 1 full year of Stream Elements, and I couldn't do anything. I didn't know how to do any of it. And I Googled and Googled and Googled, watching videos, trying to figure out how to do this, that, and the other. And I still couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So basically I wasted a whole year of money on something I never got to use.
right.
That's one of the things that I tell people from my learning experience is try the free stuff and then pick what you want from that. Don't pay for anything till
Right.
you use it first. Because, man, I was thinking, man, I can do this. And I just dived in. And, man, it cost me a lot of money. And and I'm still trying to scrimp and save to put that money back. You know what I mean? Because I didn't do the right thing. I should never have done that. But I learned from it. And hopefully my mistake will help someone else not make the same mistake.
Right.
So we all do that, but you know what? I'm a human, and I'm not ashamed to admit I'm not perfect and that I make mistakes. But the thing is if I can help another person not do it, then
Right.
I want to make sure I can share that with them. And the only way they're going to find out is if I talk to people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you don't ever talk to anyone or share anything, you can't really help other people
That's
very
true.
much, or even yourself, because you might be learning something from other people. So
Yeah.
just like, tonight. So maybe one day, like in Discord, that's another thing. Discord has helped me a lot because I'll get in Discord with Bruce and a few others, and I'll open my stuff up and we'll talk about what is this? How do I do this? And it's really great when you have other people that are experienced that can sit and help you.
That's true.
Do things, But the thing is, you're going to do something different, but you're still going to keep some of the stuff that you did before, because that's what the people that were already subscribed to you like. But that's good. It's always good to mix things up a little bit, not to diss the people you have, but to just add some new things and see what happens, because they might love it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Hey, I had a question for you, if you don't mind me asking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you were saying you were a comic book fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
What comic books are we talking about?
Okay, my favorite series I've ever had of reading is the Midnight Suns. It's a 6-issue.
I know. I would
comic book set, and I have one set that's never been opened. And
they all came in the plastic bags. Yeah, I remember. Yes. It was
that's my
Ghost
favorite.
Rider. It was Morbius, Blade. It was the Night Stalkers.
Yep.
Let me see. It was
so good. But I love horror. I love scary stuff.
Yeah,
I love vampires.
The Book of Darkhold.
Yes.
Yep, and I remember, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that like a 12-part miniseries?
No, well, yeah, that was separate from that, but the set that I've collected from my favorite comic books that I've read, I guess, multiple times would be that one series. But I also have tons of Wolverine comic books that have been autographed by the cartoonist and the story writer. And then I've also got Morbius comic books, which I love. I love Morbius.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but ever since
So
I first read the first one, I just love it. I have a multi of tons of different ones of Deadpool. I have Deadpool and Cable. I've got, as you can tell, most of my stuff is anti-heroes. I get, a little bit of
no,
the
no,
bad
that's
boys,
cool.
but those are some of my favorites. And I do have a few Wonder Woman comic books.
Actually, I have.
Not very many though. And then I love the Suicide Squad.
Okay.
I've got a few DC, and then I've got a whole buttload of Marvel.
Okay.
And I had the complete series of The Walking Dead. I've got
Robert
tons of
Kirkman.
lithographs autographed. I've gotten to meet a bunch of people from the TV show. When I go to cons, I always pick specific person, like at least one or two people that I want to put all my time and effort in on,
Right.
and take a good stack of my whatever it is
Right.
to get autographed by them, and focus on that. And then I'll wear a costume or whatever that has to do with whatever I'm going to get involved in. But that's what I like. What's your favorite comic books?
They would have to be like I had all those comics that you mentioned, the whole Midnight Suns collection, and I collected every one of the individual comics. So I had all of them, not just the actual that storyline. I had all the comic books before and after of all the titles.
Wow.
So yeah, I own, yeah, that's why I was able to call it out and say what all, yeah. So, and then of course, Morbius, do you own the Morbius from like the 1970s, the living vampire Morbius?
Yeah, I have a couple that my father had that I got from him.
Okay.
But
okay. All right.
not a lot, but I do have quite a few of the older or the newer ones.
Right.
But I went to see the movie and I loved it. I thought it was so good. And everybody was like, it was horrible. I go, no, it wasn't. I thought it was very well done considering he's a living vampire. He's never dies. He can get in the sunlight. He can do a lot of things that regular vampires wouldn't be able to do.
Right.
And I just thought that the movie was really good, and I loved the ending with the woman.
Right.
So that hopefully they'll be able to maybe do something with that. But a lot of people didn't like it. But I thought Jared Leto did a really good job. I was real impressed. But I've loved him for a long time. I've wanted to see Morbius come to life, and I would love it. Oh, I don't want these people to do it, but I would love one day before I die for them to make a series of movies, like 3 or 4 movies of the Midnight Suns.
Well, I mean,
it would be an adult. It would have to be for grown-ups, but still, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, because it would be so freaking cool to see my characters come to life with someone who actually cares about them. You know what I mean?
Right.
To make them good. That would be like,
yeah, I think that would be to see Hannibal King and the other characters from the Night Stalkers.
Yeah. There's so many good characters. They could go in so many ways.
Right.
If they just got someone to read the comic books and say, let's try this, this, and this, and do something, I just think it would be so good. And I wouldn't be so picky. I'm not so anal like a lot of people. Now, I remember when my sister had got a hold of me, and she said that she wanted me to go see the new X-Men movie with Wolverine in it. And she said, Hugh Jackman's playing Wolverine. I said, what? I couldn't believe it. I said, he's not tall. Wolverine's short and stocky. He's not a big guy. Right. And I go, it pissed me off when I was thinking about it. But she kept hounding me. So when I went to see it, I kind of sat there just not happy. But as the movie unfolded and I saw the effort that he was putting into the character for me, that he actually read some of the comic books and he was trying to be Wolverine, it opened up more and more. And you know what? I love them. I think them and Deadpool, the last movie that they did, was
Right.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, I
I
actually,
just loved it.
you know, I actually
I
have
would
a,
love to meet them in person and just get autographs and shake their hand. I mean, it was just, I was so impressed because it wasn't just for me. It was
Right.
for new people to fall in love with Wolverine
right.
and Deadpool.
And
You know what I
Deadpool, right.
mean? And that's how I look at it, because I'm not so closed door, you
Right.
know, on it. That I let the, maybe it's because I've done stand-in work and I've worked in movies and things like that, that
Right.
I can see different people being able to direct something. It doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It just means that if they love what they're doing and they're putting into it something to try to make you out there, the viewer, love it also, then it's got a good chance of being good. It's when they start just making slop, saying, oh, they'll love whatever I put on here, and they don't know anything about the character, it comes across in the movie. You know, I can see that they know nothing. You know,
Right.
they didn't make any effort
That's true.
to fill our needs as a viewer, and they ruin it. You know,
You know,
like Mandalorian doesn't take off his mask in front of other people.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
That right there hurt me really bad. It was really hard, even though I loved it. And I got Grogu dolls and I've got Mandalorians, you know, I've got all kinds of collectibles, but it just dashed my, I don't know, just little things like that.
Right.
That are important, because you could still have him take his mask off. It's just where, you know, he crashes or he's with Grogu. Grogu can see him, but not other people.
Right.
You know,
Not
just
us.
little things they could have done differently. It would have been so much better. But
And
when
go
you
with
get a
that too.
big name actor, they can't help but want to be on camera.
Right.
So just get somebody that loves the character and they'll do a good job. I don't know. Sorry, I don't mean to be so anal about it.
No, you're fine. I mean, they did the same thing to Boba Fett too. So
Yes, they did.
Wow. You know, I was just thinking like I have a huge collection of Wonder Woman.
Hmm.
Very huge. I own some of her original, like actually not more than some. I own quite a bit of her original run from the
Did you like the
the
show at
Huh?
all? Did you like Linda Carter when she played Wonder Woman on TV?
Yeah, actually I have her autographs in the living room of Linda Carter.
I thought she was wonderful.
Yeah, she was great. It's crazy.
Diana Prince. I thought she
Yeah,
was very good. And she seemed like she loved playing that character.
Right. Yeah,
Also.
she actually did. Like I said, I have her autograph. And it's crazy because I named my daughter Diana. So
Oh,
yeah, after Wonder
really?
Woman.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's
It's a beautiful name, though.
yes it is. Yes it is. Yeah, I love Wonder Woman. I'm a big fan of the Justice Society of America.
Hmm.
I have quite a few comics of the Justice Society of America, and they were the Justice League before the Justice League, you know. And I'm a huge fan of the JSA, and I'm just, for some reason, I'm like between like them and like Captain America. I like them. I like what they stand for, you know, and so I don't like what they've done with Captain America in the comic books lately in the last like decade, maybe 15 years, but you know, his history for the most part has been pretty solid.
Yeah.
But I love Captain Marvel, Shazam.
Hmm. I love Shazam.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't like that they call him Shazam though, because he's not Shazam. Shazam is the wizard.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, so how is he and the wizard going to have the same name? That's not even, see, that doesn't work. So but that's for people that don't understand. They just think, you know, so I'm a huge fan of Captain Marvel, the Marvel family, like Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel. Huge Wonder Woman fan, Just Society of America.
Mhm.
I own a lot of comic books. I own runs of I own like the majority of the original run of Star Trek when they
I
first
have a
came out.
couple of Star Trek
Yeah, I have
comic books.
when Star Trek first came out in comic books, they were there was a company called Golden Key, and
Mhm.
Golden Key had put out Star Trek, and in their run of Star Trek, Golden Key put out, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 63 to like 69 issues, somewhere in between. And that was a pretty great run of comics. The covers are classic. They're beautiful. And I own the majority of that collection. And then when they decided to keep doing Star Trek comic books, Marvel and DC put out their own Star Trek comics, and I own all of those.
Mhm.
And
Do you have anything like this?
that's
With the record in it? Because when you were saying you
actually
collected
I
records,
don't. Actually, but I do.
I have the one. Also have a few of these, and I have the ones with the God, I went blank. The $1 Million Man
Oh, fuck. You know,
with the
actually,
album, and stuff like that. Because I'm like, ever since I was a kid, my mother and dad would go to flea markets and stuff,
Right.
and yard sales.
man,
And I
we-
was lucky because I was a military brat. So I
Right.
got to live on bases, and they
right.
had the best yard sales you could ever think of. And I've gotten many of these things like this
You
from
know,
yard sales.
I have one. I have one of Superman, and so they
Record?
yeah, with the record, and so it's funny because they like Star Trek had those. It was Star Trek. It was Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. Let me see who else, and it was just like different heroes, but there was a few. And I would love. Oh man, you because I have mine in the living room as well.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, most of my stuff, I have stuff everywhere in my house, but
Right.
a lot of my stuff is like right above there. It's all Wolverine lithographs with a couple of, Captain America in that. And then I got a giant life-size Hugh Jackman cardboard cut out. And then I've got other lithographs, and
And
I've
it's
got stuff like this just all over
that's awesome.
all over my room.
It's crazy because I have like let's say like
All
over
my
here, right?
favorite things.
It's crazy because it's like you have your collectibles and I have like shit like I have like
Yeah, I've got tons of those
but
pictures autographed. Yeah, I've got
yeah,
tons.
so I have like shit like this.
Mhm.
And then I have stuff like, and it's funny because I have like stuff like that sitting around, and I have like I know this ain't Star Trek or this ain't, but
Gene Kelly. Oh wow, that's awesome.
yeah, it's the real McCoy. Like I have so many, like I have Ryan Reynolds.
Hey, it's my sister. One of my sisters.
There you go.
Hi,
There you go.
Jennifer.
How you doing, sis?
Thank you for stopping in. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but she doesn't get to come in very often and say hi to me.
Oh,
Hi,
no,
Jenny.
hell,
Sorry.
it-
I have
nothing
4
like
of them.
There's nothing like family, so that's awesome. It's great that your sister can make it. So that makes it even more special. That's
But
what's
yeah,
up.
on Discord, we'll just have to start swapping a lot of our stuff, our pictures, because I've
Yeah,
got
I mean,
tons of stuff. And some of it, I've got pictures all over the place, not just comic book stuff. I have like stars like Penn and Teller that I've met.
Yeah, I
I've
have.
got tons
I
of things
have like
that.
autographs. I have like the Dukes of Hazzard. I have like the whole cast. I have the whole cast of Escape from LA.
Well, I've got a couple things from when I went to con and I got some of the Walking Dead people,
Oh,
and then I also have Hugh Jackman's, and I've got ton and
I also have Hugh Jackman. I also have
Michael C. Hall from Dexter. You know,
yeah.
I got tons of stuff.
Wow.
So I dust all my shit. You know, I take care of it. I got hats out the wazoo. You know, I've got here's one right here. Let me get it right here. This one, here's one of my hats, and I wear all of them. You know,
that's
I've got
cool with a spinner. Yeah, that's awesome right there.
you know, I've just got so much stuff. So
No,
hey, I'd
nothing
love
wrong
to
with
see
that.
some pictures of your goodies. And
Oh, of course. I mean,
I'll share some of mine in Discord, and we can, you know, just talk about,
course.
you know, some of our favorite stuff. I just
Yeah.
love that. Now, see, have you ever thought about doing a show about that? Just pulling out some of your
Yeah.
collectibles and
Well,
talking
actually,
about them?
that's what I've been doing for years, like comic books.
Well,
Stuff
that's
that
why
I've-
people love watching you.
Yeah, that's
You gotta keep doing that, but do a live stream, not just a video.
no.
You know,
I mean,
pull
that's
out a section, like, you know, like a series. Let's say like I have one that's only 4 comic books, and I'll bring it out, and then I could talk about each of the comics, who's in it, what are they doing, where I got it, you know, all that kind of stuff, and do something like that.
yeah. I
That
mean,
would be great.
I've done video. I mean, not videos. I've done live streams like that. I just haven't done them, you know, lately. But I'm a huge fan of just pop culture. That's why I would have something like
Mhm.
Captain Kirk right here next to Gene Kelly's, you know, autograph picture, and I mean, and everything's authentic. I don't, you know, none of that, you know, fake shit. There's no point. It's funny. I see a lot of fake stuff floating around, and people don't even know that, you know, to get something real is not even that much more than you know the fake thing that you know that they're buying. So, oh my goodness.
I've got Batman and Superman.
Oh wow, that's
I've
awesome.
got tons of stuff. I swear, it's fun, you know.
Yes, it
And you know
is.
what? I play with my stuff. I do. I hold my stuff, and I pose it. I do, you know.
Right.
I really love my stuff.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, I have a bunch of action figures, but they're all in the boxes. You know, they're all. You know, I don't. Oh wow.
You see, I've got a lot of stuff that I can reach,
Right.
you know, that I play with. But I also have, you know, like other things, like this puppet. It looks like a skunk.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Little skunk. Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, I'm a geek. I'm
Right.
a nerd. And I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? I love my things. I love my stuff. I love movies. I love
Me too.
dressing up. I love diving into, you know, and I've worn, let's see, I've got, you know, tons and tons of glasses, different glasses that I can wear. See? Depending on, you know, whatever I'm talking about or what movie I might be reviewing, or what costume I might need. Did you see the one where we did the movie Blues Brothers?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, I made that habit that I wore. So I make costumes also.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So, you know, and I have like 65 wigs. I've got.
Right.
I love it. I love anything and everything to do with cosplay. I've got a airbrush, you know, so I can paint myself different colors or whatever. It's fun, you know. We have one life. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
And you know, if you live your life trying to fit into other people's molds so that they don't point their finger at you and stuff, how boring.
That's true.
So I like being me. None of my sisters were into any of the stuff that I was into. So, which was fine. You know, they still look at me like, okay, whatever. They're not interested. but I don't care. It's fine with me. They wanted to spend 20 minutes fixing their bangs just right to go on a date. I just put a ball cap on and not worry about it.
Right.
So, whatever. But the thing is, I just want people to be themselves and
Right.
enjoy being themselves.
Right.
Be yourself, love yourself, and more people will love you. That's how I think it should be.
Yeah, that's good advice. I mean, I'm, that's all I've been, is just been myself. So that's good that, through the good times and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Good.
The one thing I'm going to start working on is being more consistent. So that 7-month break, that no matter what happens, that ain't happening. That's not happening again. So
well, you just have to do it. You just have to get up, like me, going to the gym. I go to the gym every other day. And now I didn't for that week that I was on my vacation for our family reunion type thing. But man, when I went back the first day, I was like, oh, I'm not going to make it. Because you take off, you step back a little. But just like you said, if you make it a habit and you start doing it for a couple of weeks, it's easier and easier on you because you're like, oh, I got this idea. And then when you're not even doing it, let's say you go grocery shopping to buy stuff for dinner, you're already thinking, oh, I could do this for a show, or I can do that. It will start moving. More and more things happen. I'm always thinking about videos, what can it make? But I do shorts mostly.
right.
And I love doing them, and it's fun. I'm getting better at editing. I'm getting better at adding music, things bursting, just whatever, because I use bunches of different apps to help me add or take away what I don't. If I don't like the background, I can, I've changed this background many times. I've got comments, I've got, I've tried different things, but I did, like me, I put this little guy and stuck him on my chair so I could do that cosmic talk when I was in my full costume and stuff, and have the little alien guy hanging on my chair. I thought it was great. And then on here, I've got my, my monkey and my He-Man.
Yeah, I've seen that.
These are all earrings, mostly like goats and, dice for, my D20s.
Right.
Or whatever. And I don't know, I just like looking at it. And when I'm in here, I get inspired to want to do something, it makes me want to do more. So I just want you to find things that inspire you and make sure you try to surround yourself with those, and it'll help you stay motivated, and you'll be able to do a lot more because your mind will be going, more. I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, that's just what I do. So, it might help you.
No, I mean, I'm surrounded by things, like I would say it like this.
Oh, nice. Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's beautiful. See, you just got to get that hung up so you can look at it every day.
I know.
Hey, I do it all the time. I'm always rearranging stuff. But also, I told you I do promo work. So let's say I got last year, I think it was last year or the year before, that Lego movie came out. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Yeah. And I got all these little Lego sets that I was supposed to take and let the kids put together. But then I got this giant box that looks like a Lego box, but it's not. It's just empty. But now I got an empty cardboard box, and different other displays and stuff that I keep. And, I collect. That's how I have Hugh Jackman, and I got the Purcell guy, and I got all these different things because I go and I do promos and I sell products for other people. So,
wow.
It's a lot of fun. I like doing that. But sometimes I have to drive quite a ways, but it's fun. It keeps me from being bored from my job. You know what I mean? Because it's always something different. It might be a 2-day event. It might be I might get called and have to do seating, for VIPs for, let's say, Kevin Hart stand-up show or whatever. So, that's what I do. And, I enjoy doing all of it. But I like talking, as you can tell. So I'm not afraid to talk to anybody or sell someone's product for them. So, and I'm also on audio.com. So I do voiceovers and things like that too for people.
Oh
So that's
wow. Now, to be honest, that's something I've always wanted to do.
But you can sign up.
I don't know.
I'll send you the link and you just go to the website and make you a couple videos,
Okay.
voice videos, just for your voice, put it up there and doing different things and talking about different things, like I can talk like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this just today. Stupid, dumb, blonde bimbos talking
Right.
or a computer, for a ship or depends on what they send me. But
Right.
I've got a bunch of different stuff on there, depending on what, I think someone might be interested in. But I
Wow.
know a lot of people like Bruce, he can do like Skeletor's voice
Oh wow. I
and
didn't know that.
other voices during our games. And I keep telling him he needs to get on there because it'd be really cool for your kid to get a personal message sent to their phone from Skeletor telling them happy birthday, and
Right.
stuff like that, and get paid to do it. So there's lots of really cool things out there. You just have to, go out and
Okay.
get,
All right.
get it, grab it,
Hmm.
and hold on to it. But
So
yeah.
you're a huge Star Trek fan. That's
Yeah, I love Star Trek.
I
I've
tell
got
you,
my blue uniform. I have a red one. I have my tricorder bag. I have some really cool wigs with the bouffant on it for
right.
the 60s. So
I remember when you made that picture of the Enterprise.
yeah, it's hanging on my wall over there with my mannequin and one of my costumes on it.
Man, when I remember when you made that was about what, like 2 years ago, 3 years
Yeah,
ago?
it took months and months and months of work, but I
Right.
love it. It's so
And
pretty.
I remember when you posted that, I was like, wow. I
Yeah,
thought
that
that
took
was
a lot of
so
time.
cool.
I can make lots of things with beads too. It just depends on, what my mood is.
Right.
What took a while was a friend passed away, and or their dad passed away. So they sent me all these t-shirts and sweatshirts from their dad. So I made 3 blankets, 3 quilts out of squares that I cut from all the different shirts. It took me forever, but I finally got them all done because I don't have a machine for quilting. So all the edging I had to do by hand. And man, my hands were all like, oh, my head.
Oh.
People don't realize how that's a lot of work,
Right.
sew, and try to do a good job. But
Mhm.
I just delivered when I went to Florida this last time. I took an extra suitcase to put the last blanket in there for her brother.
Mhm.
And he was really happy. So it, just a lap robe that you could take to a game or whatever,
Right.
but it's made completely out of their shirts, stuff
Mhm.
that they had for themselves. And you can't buy it, you can't just go out and buy it. So it's like a one of a kind. And I picked
Right.
shirts that I thought each of them, like one was in the Marines. So I
Right.
took all the Marine shirts because their dad was in the Marine. And then the daughter, her daughter had colored a t-shirt for her dad.
Right.
So that shirt I cut out and put it in the center of her quilt. So it's more personal. So,
Mhm.
I don't know. I just love crafting, and I'm into all kinds of stuff, and I love to sew with machines, and I love to make costumes, and maybe I should. I think it's boring. I've never film myself making stuff, so I just don't do it. But did you see us when we did the movie Dracula? And
I saw that.
I made that her gown, basically her.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of work, but it was fun. I tried. I went to a thrift store and I just bought all kinds of pieces and parts to try to make something from it. To see if
Yeah,
I could-
that was actually pretty that was pretty nice, to be
Yeah,
honest.
so,
That was the way you put it together. To be honest, when you looked at that, uh, not knowing, you would have thought that that was something that came purchased that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can buy, but man, it's expensive.
Wow.
I'm sure you've looked into like cosplay stuff. They have, complete outfits to go as whatever character you want with
Right.
armor and, chain maul and whatever you want. And it's expensive. But I've seen people that have taken like the pull tabs off of beer and stuff and
Right.
made their own vests and stuff. Wow, that took a lot of time. But to me, I'd be more proud to wear something I made myself than something I could just bought off the rack. Now I have a lot of stuff that's off the rack too, but that's mostly for like doing the girl guy in a movie, something really fast. Because a
Right.
lot of times I hadn't seen the movie, so I don't really even know what I'm gonna wear. But
Right.
like when I did the last one, which was The Good, Bad, the Ugly, I had found this shirt, that red shirt, at a thrift store, and I was like, oh, I gotta dress up as a guy. So I had a little thing with mustaches and beards and stuff, and I have 2 skinhead wigs. I can't wait, because whenever we get to do the Star Trek the motion picture, I'm gonna be bald, and I'm gonna make that
okay.
whole costume with the high collar and stuff.
Right.
That's gonna be so cool. I can't wait to do it. A lot of people say, "You want to be bald on screen?" I'm like, it's not me. I'm pretending to be somebody else. That's
Right.
what's gonna be so fun about it.
Man.
So we'll see how it turns out. But we are us,
Right.
like you are you, and you should only want to be you, but be the best you can be,
Right.
and that's, sometimes I drive people nuts. So, but I can't help it. I'm just,
No, that's all right. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. You,
I'm really glad that I finally could get you on the show, and I wish that you didn't have to take 7 months off, because I know that's a lot of work. Just
right.
me trying to get caught up after just going 2 Friday night shit shows, not doing them, and doing almost 2 weeks with no live streams and stuff. You take a hit because people get bored and go somewhere else.
Right. That's true.
But I can't help it. I have to live my life just like everyone else,
That's
and
true.
I'll just do the best I can with what I have.
Right.
And I've asked many times. I've done little polls or whatever and said, well, what do you want me to do different? Everybody says, just be you. So it's like, okay, that's all.
Right.
That's
Ain't
what
nothing
I'm
wrong
doing.
with that. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what you should do. I think you should just keep being you, and you'll find something. Something will jump out at you, and you're going to say, wow, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. I've had people say, you need to do a cooking show. I'm like, why? There's tons of cooking shows.
Right.
I'm not interested, and I don't really like cooking. I mean, honestly, I don't. I like to eat, but
Well, I
maybe
mean,
I'll
if your cooking's good, then that's another story.
some of the things I cook. I made all the guys jerky. I make jerky, and they all thought it was really good. So I made it for Christmas and sent it. And I have my own, sealer, vacuum
Right.
sealer,
Right.
and my dehydrator and stuff. And I made it for them.
Oh
So
wow.
I didn't get to make it this last Christmas because there was so much other stuff going on. I had a death in the family and all
I'm
that.
sorry to
But
hear that.
here in another couple weeks, my daughter wants me to make her some.
Oh,
She says I have to make her a whole roast just for her because she just loves it. But I'm gonna have to go get a couple of roasts, I guess. I'll start looking for some meat sales and make the guys, that I play my games with,
right.
and send it to them again. So we'll see what happens. But
Mhm. Wow. I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. I was just, I enjoy, like, oh man, got this dog next door. I was thinking, like, you You know, there's a lot of people that cosplay, and you know, there's a lot of people that create things.
Hmm.
I think uh, I don't think it would be a bad idea. You know, maybe showing off, you know, some of your costumes, or maybe how you put them together. You know, and I know I've seen a lot of people do that. And
Hmm.
the thing is, you wouldn't be coming out of nowhere doing something like that because that's what you've always been doing.
Yeah, it'd just be something I could add.
Right. And so I don't, you know, I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, when you talking about the way you put together dresses, uh, I don't know. Some people would not want to, I guess, tell their secrets. But you know, if you don't mind, you know, I guess sharing a little bit of something with folks that enjoy
Well,
dressing.
I did that. It might be embarrassing, but there was a movie that Bruce wanted to do. It was something about vampires from outer space. I can't
Okay.
remember the name of it for sure, but it was a woman that was life force or something, and she
Yeah,
drained people.
yeah, I think I
Okay.
watched that about
Okay. And I had a white silk outfit, was an angel outfit that I had
right,
made years ago. I wore that, and then it made it look like I had headlights, you know what I'm
oh
talking about?
right,
And after we were done, I was showing Bruce and Six Nations, a few other that were in Discord, what I had done. I said I had gotten some cotton balls
right,
and I had molded them with a little bit of um, lotion,
right.
just regular lotion, and made them harder, and then let them dry a little bit. Then I just put them in there, and I said, and they were talking about it, and I said, women do it all the time. You think all these women just walking around are always got nipples that are hard? No, guess what? They're fake. And I
Right.
was sort of trying to show them all this stuff,
Wow.
how women use certain things to enhance themselves. And I said, you saw me when I was dressed. I was talking to Bruce and them when I was dressed up as Morticia Adams, right? And I've done a couple of different ones. And I go, I have a corset I put on, and it squeezes me, so I have a really more curvy than I would normally have. And you got to have someone tighten it for you, behind you. Like my daughter will do that for me sometimes. But it's a lot of work sometimes for some of
Right.
these people to wear some of these costumes. And man, I tell you, the whole time I was wearing it, I was having to sit up straight, and I can hardly breathe. But I looked good. That's what mattered for
Right.
a certain amount of time. So it just depends on, what the person's willing to do it. That's what's exciting to me, is seeing if I can achieve that.
Right.
Um, we did the movie The 13th Warrior, and I dressed up like the cave woman, and I mussed my hair. I had a wig on with bones and stuff in it, and then I put, dirt and stuff on me, and I had a like bone necklace that I had, but I'd taken a bra that I got at Marva and I spray painted it brown, and then I took two skulls and cut them in half and put them on my chest. So I had this bra with these giant skulls, and it was fun. And that's what my costume. And then I put some wrist things on to make it look like I was more cave, like a cave cannibal type person or whatever. But it
Right.
was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Just trying to use your imagination to come up with stuff, or what you could do for a movie,
right.
is a lot of fun. And I've loved doing it ever since Bruce and I started. Just getting to once I started going on camera, because at first I wasn't on camera. I just
Yeah, I remember.
so it just depends on what you're able to do. But see, that's what's fun about doing this stuff that you and I do on YouTube, is that it's like it's real, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's like it's our own perception, or our own we're pushing our point of view on others,
Right.
whatever, that type of thing. So I don't know, like this is behind, this is my table and the rest of my office and my workout equipment and whatever, and I make it look a little better because I have a curtain hanging from the ceiling with lights on it.
Yeah, it's like you couldn't even tell there was anything behind that. It's just wow.
You see, I took a sheer curtain and put it over my lights,
Mm.
and I can make my lights do different things. I can make them bubbles or different things because I got me a set of lights that hook to my phone, and I can change it up a little bit or make it a
Actually,
solid color. Like if it wants to be real dramatic and it'd be bright red, you know. But you know, it's just stuff to do. Like your really pretty background that you have with the cosmos behind you and whatever. That's what it looks like.
yeah,
It's just
it is.
galaxies or whatever. So it's just whatever we decide to do or whatever we can afford to do. But
Right,
see, I
exactly.
grew
Right.
up not a lot of money, with 4 sisters having to share a bedroom with, 2 of them for a very long time. And one of them that was just in here, my sister that was in here earlier, she's the youngest. So she basically got everything she wanted and we had to sacrifice the older sisters.
Right.
But, that's what you do for siblings. And, we learned we made most of our costumes growing up for Halloween and things like that. So, I wanted to be able to do more things. And so that's what I tried to teach myself how to sew. And my mom taught me how to crochet and, different things like that. So I rode in rodeos. I did barrel racing on my horse and things like that. And I did trail rides. I love horses. But where I'm at right now, I only have 4.5 acres. I don't think it's enough to really have a horse.
Mm.
So I just have chickens right now. So that's it.
So you do a good job with those. So yeah, with those chickens, yeah, you're really yes, I've seen quite a few videos of you out there taking care of them. So it's, and making
Mhm. Yeah.
something like them, but just making. Yeah, it's I tell you what, when it comes to let's say honestly, when it comes to making a video of someone creating a costume,
hmm
um, the only way you can make something like that exciting, and I've seen a few people do it, it's all in the editing.
hmm
It's all in the editing as far as what would make someone be engaged with uh how you put that together. But
hmm
I think the thing is with you is you have what it takes to be able to do it. So I would love to see it. So
I've made so many videos that I ended up going delete, 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 delete because I just hated it because I just thought it was terrible. I didn't like the angle or whatever it was, or I just had a hair up my ass. I don't know. Just saying. But we all have good days. We all have bad ones, and then other times I have one that I wouldn't even use, and one of my sisters would say, "Oh, this is really funny," or "I like this one." So I go, "Really?" So okay, I'll make that. I'll do something with that one. So sometimes you think it's no good, but someone else will see it and say, "Hey, I
right,
like this."
right, that's true.
So,
That's true.
like most artists, you're a sculptor or a painter or whatever, and you're making it and you're drawing, and you just keep drawing and fixing
True,
it and fixing
true.
it. You're never happy with it,
Right.
right? But someone else will go, "Oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." So it's all in the eyes of the beholder, the person looking at it, not the artist, because the
Right.
artist was never going to be happy. When we're creating something, we're like, "Oh, it still needs this, still needs
Right.
that." It's
Right.
never going to be done. So we
Well,
have to get to the point where we say, "Screw it, I'm done. I'm not working on it any longer." So it could actually get out there,
right.
So whatever.
No,
But
well, it's like we're normally our own harshest critic. So
yes, we are.
yeah, we
Mhm.
are.
We're hard on ourselves. Hi, Six Nations.
Hmm.
But so what are your plans besides trying to do a little more live streams and maybe doing something a little different? Are you planning on like doing a show and having a partner on your show, something like that?
Well, actually, I've thought about that, and I wanted to do a pop culture show, just going over not a particular thing, not like like going through or going over TV shows or movies, but
Mhm.
just different topics. Some of them would be like current event topics. Some things would be uh, things that that are going on with different stuff. Kind of leave it a little bit more open to kind of cover a little bit more, cover more broader topics. But actually, I wanted to do something, and I haven't spoken to the individual that I wanted to, but you know, I I wanted to work on something, and then I have another show that I'm trying to figure out that I used to do called the Primetime Kings, and it was me, one of my partners called Baron Orman Tag, and my other friend Vigilante Williamson,
Mhm.
and and we would have Mark D with a C. Uh, I know you're familiar with Mark D, right? With you used to run with Clobber Times quite a bit,
Yeah. Mark
and
D with a C.
right,
Mhm.
and we would,
Yeah, he's the name I couldn't remember earlier.
yeah, okay, all right,
Okay, sorry about that.
no, you're fine, so but I would do a show with them, and we would cover different topics, and I have to talk to them and see if they would like to do that again. But besides that, I wanted to do the first thing I said, and I want, I still got to work through that. But that's those are the two things that I want to do
Mhm.
aside from doing my normal live streams and doing videos again. So um sounds quite a sounds like quite a bit, but it's just getting back into the groove of things, so that's what I'll be working on.
Well, you being on my show tonight is proof that you're trying to get back into it. So that's good.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
start.
appreciate
And
it.
I'm
Well,
glad that
actually,
you
you made
joined
it
me.
easy. You made it very easy to come here and talk. So thank you for that. That's
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
you know it, man. It's crazy. So as far as video games, I was still curious. You only play the Goat Simulator, and that's it on the Xbox.
Yeah, there was another game and I can't remember the name of it. It was it had little people and it was other people trying to get me to play it with them. And you were to try to find the person that was the killer or whatever. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Oh, what the
Who
fuck?
done it or I don't know. I can't remember.
I have the picture of them in my head, and it just the name won't come to me. Holy shit!
I hate
I,
it because I can't remember
yeah,
either.
I can't remember the
So
name.
bad, but
Probably somebody in
uh,
the chat.
I tried that a couple of times and it was really hard to understand. So I haven't done it again since then. And then there's another one that they were wanting to play, and I just watched them, and I just couldn't get into it. It was some kind of centipede that ran around and eats balls or whatever. It was just a weird. So I guess I just have weird friends that like weird shit.
I think I know
But
the
I
centipede.
can't. It's called Centipede or something like
Yeah,
that.
and then basically, if you hit the balls, the centipede will go back up and then start working his way back down. I
Yeah.
I own that game. I can't
Well,
remember the name of it.
it was just too hard for me to understand, and I couldn't get my centipede, but like three balls. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
like uh, I don't know. It's just not for me. I don't guess, but I love Goat Simulator. I swear to goodness, getting your goat to go up on this elevator, and then you get on a roller coaster and you have no hands. So the only thing I could think of was sticking my tongue on the thing and holding on with the tongue. Then you see and what's so cool is there's shadows on the ground and things too, and you're going along, you're doing loops and you're flying out, you're flying out. I see, I'm already laughing just thinking about it. You're flying out of the seat, but your tongue is like holding you on, and you're like whipping around. It's just hilarious. The whole thing is just the funniest thing, and it puts me in such a good mood to watch, to hang out and just be, do nothing but laugh. And I don't even have to have an alcoholic beverage. I can just get a good. It's so funny and stupid, but it's hilarious. I mean, I don't know how anyone can play it and not laugh. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, because I've never won one. I've had 2 different games.
Right.
I think I'm on the 4th one now. Right. I had 3 and 4, but I've never finished because you have to have a partner. There's like little things that are time trials, and you have a team effort type things you have to do. And I've never finished it because I never have anyone wants to play. So I just play by myself and laugh. And Bruce thinks it's so funny. He said I should stream it. I should stream it live and play. So if anybody's played it before, maybe I can figure it out. It would have to be like on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, because those are my only days open now. So
and you normally play that on Xbox?
Yeah, on Xbox Live, on my computer.
Yeah, all right, because
I sign up on there.
You know what? I have Xbox Live on my.
You have to get on there and play it one time, and you're gonna say she's nuts. I'm never playing this stupid game. But it's funny. You go up on you go in the elevator, you go to the top of skyscrapers, and then there's like rockets, like firecracker rockets hooked in different areas, and you go headbutt it, and it grabs you and flies you out somewhere and explodes, and then you fall, down to the ground, or you might land in water or whatever. But it's just really stupid. I mean, it really is a stupid game. If you want to play, there's lots of things to do. There's quests that you have to do while you're in there to earn the different goats. Because like I had angel goat, devil goat, all these different goats you have to get by doing different tasks in the game. But I've never won because there's so many things you have to have someone else do it with you. So, but I still play it because it's fun.
Right.
So that's my favorite game.
I'm gonna have to check that out and see if I can figure out how to play that. And
then make sure you send me a message and say, "Hey, you're crazy." Or something.
I wouldn't do that.
Let me know what you tried it out. But your kid would love playing with you, probably.
No, my kids are not
bigger.
Kids. Yeah, they're.
Oh, well, my daughter's grown.
Yeah, my daughter.
She's the one that gets me to play some of these other games that I don't like. So
yeah, my daughter's 19 and my son's about to be 22. So
yeah, so they don't hang out with you as much.
Well, I mean, they'll play. I mean, I raised them playing video games, but they don't. Now they're trying to live their life. So
Yeah, I know. You spend your whole life raising them, feeding them, keeping them safe, and then all they want to do is get away from you. Just like we did with our parents. So
Yeah, but they're in college, so I'm glad they're trying to work, towards something. So it's cool.
But
man,
thank you.
I tell you what, I'm gonna give Goat Simulator a whirl, and I'm gonna
maybe you can play it and do a what is it called when you talk about a game about whether it's good or not?
A review, yeah.
Yeah, do a review on it on your show, on your channel, and see what people think. They'll go, he's nuts. No, I'm just kidding. I'd watch it. I'd come watch you play and laugh because you'll be laughing. I know you will. I don't know a single person who's ever played and not laughed because it's
like I said, I would have to look at it again. I haven't seen that in a while, and it's funny because
it's on Xbox Live. You can get it.
Yeah, it's a free game, right?
Yeah.
You know, I just renewed my my Xbox
Yeah,
Live
Among Us.
subscription.
This is it right here. That's the one I tried, and I couldn't understand for sure.
Among
They
Us.
were,
That's the one.
yeah,
Yep. With the
and it
little
was
dudes with the little
interesting.
weird eyes and visors and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the little weird people. And but if I had some more time to sit and play it with a couple people, because you're supposed to play it with more than one
Right,
person,
right, right.
and I'd probably get to where I liked it. But you know, when you have one other person and they're talking and telling you your mate you're not doing it right or whatever all the time, you kind of get like, you know what I mean? So,
Okay, well,
but
I'll
it would be
tell you
fun.
what. I'll check out the Ghost Simulator and I'll get back with you on that one.
Okay,
I'll look into that. I
sounds good.
know I'm usually playing I'm playing, I guess, rougher games like Red Dead Redemption. I'm playing Fallout. I'm
I
playing
like that
Windy.
show.
Huh?
I love Fallout.
Oh, you like Fallout?
Yeah, I've been watching the series. I really like it.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I've
okay.
got to work with Walton Goggins before, so I couldn't help but want to watch
Oh, okay.
him act because he's such a good actor.
Man, I'm telling you, the game is actually, it's funny because I played the game first, then watched the series, and then in the series, everything that's in the game is in the series.
Hmm.
Music, you know, different things that they fight, different places. It's actually it's very good, and I love the show. The show's very good. I haven't seen season 2 yet. Have you?
No, I haven't started yet, but I want to. But I want to make sure I have plenty of time to sit and watch it. You know, and that something's not happening or
Right.
going on. And since I just got back and I'm trying to get resettled back in again, I'm thinking about probably in the next couple of weeks I'm gonna get
Okay.
digging in because it's so good.
Yeah,
It
it's
really is. And I haven't even played the game, but if playing the game is half as much fun as watching the show,
it is.
then I would probably really like the game.
Then you know
It's
what?
just that you don't want me driving. I can tell you right now, when I'm on that and it's a Jeep or
Right.
even the hamburger in the SpongeBob SquarePants
Yeah,
game,
the ham. Yeah,
I
the ham.
I
I
couldn't
know.
even get the hamburger down the road. So you don't want me driving.
Oh,
I really
shit.
suck at driving.
Well,
But jumping and other things like that, it's a lot of fun. So
I mean, but you normally play like first person shooters.
well, I played Halo and a
Oh
couple
yeah,
other games
Halo.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, Halo.
But it to me, Halo is fun by yourself, but it's really fun if you play with a partner and you're watching each other's back. You know, in one of those, and they have those timed games with the
Right.
other people.
Right.
So I like doing that. That's a lot of fun.
Okay, so I mean, because it's funny you say that because I've been wanting to play Halo, but I hate like I have the whole collection. Like I can play all of them, but I don't like playing them by myself. You know, and I was like, well, fuck, it's just I don't know. Like I can, but it's I don't know. It's just boring. It's more boring to.
Well, it's because you've already played all of them. That's why.
But I would prefer to
Have
play them
Have you ever heard of Half-Life?
I love Half-Life.
Okay, Tree Rock is saying I need to try to play Half-Life. I've never heard of it.
No, actually,
Have you looked at
there's Half-Life, there's Half-Life 2, then they have the Half-Life remake, which is called Black Mesa. I actually own over 20 Half-Life games. So if you go to Steam,
Mhm.
they have a whole bunch of Half-Life games that are for free. And then they have the ones that you have to purchase. And Half-Life is a very good series. I think you should. He did the first game that he mentioned was called Planet 2, Another Planet 2. I never played that, but I've played Half-Life, and Half-Life is worth playing. I think you would like it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I might. I mean, I'm willing to try it.
So,
But
so
whenever anyone says, "Hey, like what's that game that Geeks and Gamers is always doing that where they're driving the
oh,
little?"
that's Super Mario Kart.
Oh, I
Mario
can't
Kart.
do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I will never. I can't even. I wouldn't even be a third way down the track when everyone else is already finished. I'm just so bad at driving on those games. I sink at it. So I just don't play them because it's like it's not fun if you never win. You know what I
Right.
mean? I was playing with a bunch of 8 and 9-year-olds. SpongeBob SquarePants
Right.
game, and they're just flying by me on these hamburger cars and
Yeah, the
stuff.
hamburger
I
car,
can't do
right.
shit. So it's like it sucks, especially when you never win. Now I
Right.
did love one of my favorite games that I did play, and I won, and I got every single character but one because I couldn't figure out where it was. Lego Batman.
Oh, Lego Batman.
That was fun. And the quests were fun. It wasn't too easy. You really had to work hard and go do it over and over again in some areas. I like that. I like a little bit of a challenge. I don't want something that's just like, laid out, but I want it achievable too. See, I felt like the SpongeBob SquarePants game
Right.
wasn't achievable for me because that one part you had to drive. There wasn't any other path
Right.
to get by there. So I just could never get past it. And it was like, it sucked. After a year of playing every weekend, I was like, screw it. It's too depressing.
Oh, of course.
I like games where I can just play. You don't have to do this or that. You just do whatever and, and laugh a lot.
I'm surprised if you played Lego Batman. Have you ever played Batman Arkham or like any of the Arkham games?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
No.
Man, you would have.
I might have liked it. It's just that, depending on what was going on,
Right.
And the reason I got that game is because I did do something with Legos. So
Oh,
I got
that's right. You
different
did say that.
stuff. I
Okay.
get
I see
different
the connection. Right.
promotions and stuff like that. I might do something for Sky Vodka and handing out little tasters or whatever for that. And, it just depends. So if I'm doing that, I'm not going to be playing a game,
That's
So
right.
it just depends on what's going on and whether I have something booked or whatever.
Wow.
So that's why I'm saying I try to set up my schedule and then I try to make sure I can do something.
I understand that.
And if I can't, then I have to have money first.
Mhm.
Just like everyone's responsibilities are first, and this would be second.
Right.
So,
That's true.
that's
Yeah,
reality.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But and I'm not going to get mad at someone because they say, "Hey, I can't do it. I got to work or whatever." I'm just going to say, "All right, well, we'll try to work it in next time or whatever,"
Right.
because that's what that's reality. And I can't see someone getting all anal over someone trying to pay their bills. It's just stupid. I wouldn't get mad at somebody for that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what's.
I've heard some real losers go after people because they're always late or whatever. I'm like, well, they have a job.
Yeah.
Make your game a little later so they can start and
Right.
not be rushing. That kind of thing. Everyone can do something for another person if they want. If they don't want to, they just want to make a big show of it because it makes them look like they're going to get a few more clicks or something. Well, maybe I won't be showing up on that one next time.
Mm.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised what, and I've heard, and I've actually seen some things. Again, when you're in the back rooms, there's a whole nother. It's a whole nother world than what's happening in front of the camera. Behind the scenes when the cameras turn off and everybody's basically in a huddle, you get to hear and see all kind of stuff, and you're like, wow. And it's from sometimes people you don't even would expect any of this shit from.
Yeah.
You get to find out in a very different way, and it's I've just learned that's just a part of YouTube and the way people are with this.
Well, honestly, it's not just YouTube. I mean, I see it on TikTok and I see it on, Instagram. I see it on Rumble, on Kick. I see it on everything.
Right.
People, I'm sure they do it at church. They do it at school. They do it at jobs.
Right.
It's the people. When you're working with someone that's probably a narcissist. I've talked about this too a few times on different shows. When you have a narcissist person that's pushing their weight around and they're pushing people's buttons to get them to do something so that they can come in and make it look like they have to be there to fix it, that type of thing. So sometimes you have to step back and look around and go, why are they doing that? That doesn't make any sense. And it's probably just to get people pissed off so that they can step in and clean up the mess, make them look good. There's so many different situations and scenarios where people do that type of stuff. And, I've seen a lot of it because I try to pay attention to it. But I'm one of the people that would say, why are you being such a dick? Other people aren't going to do it because they don't want to, make themselves look bad in front of those person or whatever, or get the finger pointing at them.
Right.
I don't care. And I'll call someone out if I think that they're being a total douchebag. Someone else when they don't have to be, and I just think that's mean, especially when some people will invite someone on their show, on their channel with 4 or 5 other people, and then they just berate the one person. I've seen that before.
I've seen that.
I will not go on their shows anymore because I think that is horrible. To do that to someone just to get a rise and get people to come in and laugh and to me it's like kindergarten or something, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not, especially if I understand what's going on. At first, I didn't really understand. I thought, was this part of the show? I mean, I didn't really know, but as I paid attention, and then I was also backstage, like you said, I got to see this is not right. I'm not going to let that kind of stuff happen because I won't be on the show if I know that they treat people that way.
And actually, I've had to step away from doing some things as well when I saw like, hey, this is not a healthy environment for me to be in. Let me just back out and. And then next week they're like, hey, would you like to come? Like, nah, I'm already, hate that I have to like bullshit and whatever. But, it's not to the point where I had to like call it out or whatever. Cause it's like, it was just one of those things where I was like, nah, I got something else to do. And then, from that point, I just never, dealt with the individual again.
Yeah, they sooner or later they get the gist of it. They understand that I'm really not interested being on a show so that you can poke holes in other people.
Right.
Things. What was really funny was I had this app. I don't even know if I still have that. I'd have to dig around on my computer. I had it as a joke. It was a prank thing where I could change my picture and make me look like a tampon that had a mouth on it. So when this person was being a douchebag, basically, I just changed my picture to the other thing, and I just was on there as a tampon. They didn't like it too much, but I didn't give a shit. By that point, I was ready to tell them to kiss my ass because I think it's an ass. And I won't ever do that person's show again. But I'm not going to say their name. But the thing is that I just won't. I make excuse after excuse, and they finally stopped asking. So that's okay. I can deal with it.
Yeah.
But I just think there's no reason to be rude. We have enough bullshit out here,
That's
going
true.
on a daily basis. Why would you want to add to it on purpose? I don't. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
I agree. I mean, and even like, even if you find yourself around it, you kind of have to, you find, yourself kind of cutting it back, like getting away from it, like distancing, yourself. And of course, after a while, people do get the message when you stop interacting and but it's funny because even when that happens, you still got friends that know them and then know you, and then this whole little awkward thing. I don't know. It's just weird as fuck. But it's
Well, the
like,
thing is, if they say anything to me, I'll say, well, I don't approve of the way they treat other people. So
right,
if you want to be on their show, that's up to you, but I don't have to.
right,
And that's all I say. And I don't have to say anything else, and they don't ask me again.
right.
So, but I'm not going to lie about it. If they ask me up front, I'd say, well, if you want to talk in private, I'll be happy to talk to you. Because I do that too. Even on Spaces, you'll see a lot of people going, blah, 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 they want to get in fights and get people in there and stuff. Well, I don't. If they start being anal, I'll just leave. I just don't, because I'm not being paid to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they ask me something in the DM, I'll send them a message. Well, I just thought it was inappropriate or whatever, and voice my opinion and leave it at that. I don't have a problem with it.
And it's funny you say that. There was a time that I got again, I'm whenever you go on Spaces, I get the notifications. So I remember going in there and I was listening to you talk, and then another guy talked, and some chick talked, and then you talked again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on there probably for about a good maybe hour. Some shit started popping off, and all of a sudden you disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck? So when I stood around for about 5 minutes thinking that maybe you would come back,
Mm-hmm.
and you never came back. And I was like, I'm gone. So I pressed the button. I got the fuck out of there.
Well, it depends on what's going on in there. Sometimes I've got a phone call and just got disconnected.
Right.
So, because I do have 4 sisters, and they just call at random times or whatever. So, and other calls. But it just depends on what's going on, or what. Now, if I'm in a space and there's hostility, and I'm a co-host, they just won't stay in there very long. I'll just kick them out.
Yeah, I've
That's why I love Discord so much. I have my own Discord. I'm like, if you're a dick in my Discord to somebody,
right.
I'll ask you why are you asking for money, or what are you doing this for, or whatever it is, and I'll see what their answer is. And if they have a good answer, then I'll say, okay, well, explain that to the person that you're asking, and please don't ask that person anymore.
Wait, so
if you do, I'm gonna have to get rid of you.
So on Discord, people ask you for money?
Well, there's been a couple times where a person will come up and say, I need money for, I'm doing this, that, or the other, drawing, or I'm trying to buy this new thing or whatever. Can you spare me a few dollars? And I'm like, no, and don't ask anyone else in this Discord for money, please.
Wow.
So, that type of stuff. But you're going to have that once in a while. I mean, especially if you have hundreds of people, involved, you're going to have sooner or later that's going to come up. But now we have done some other things where we have posted in there and said that, like when Clobby passed away, we're doing a thing. Please go to his thing and try to help family, whatever. That's totally different. That
of course, yeah. And I've done the same thing. Yeah.
So, it just depends. That's what I'm saying. I don't just jump on it. It's a situation. You gotta listen to what's going on and find out whether or not it's inappropriate or not. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not like everyone. I don't just say, oh, get rid of them, whatever. I'm gonna want to talk to them, find out what's going on. Right, especially it's my Discord, so I would want to be the one to understand what's going on in there.
Of course, yeah, right.
So, we've been in there for 2 hours, just gabbing, like, hey, this hanging out and talking.
No, it's fine. I'm not, the time doesn't, I'm not even, I had no idea. I'm just sitting here talking to you. I'm having a great time.
Well, I love talking, and, I try to, be informed about most of the things that I'm talking about, if it's a specific subject, but if it's just about things that, like when I would talk to Clobby, we'd talk back and forth in DMs and stuff.
Right.
And I send him pictures of tons of my stuff, and I send him pictures, and he would share them, on his show or whatever. But he kept saying, I want to have you as a guest. We're going to talk about this or whatever. And I'm like, when? And then he passed away before I
Right.
got to be on the show. So I was really sad about that. But he was such a good person. And there's been quite a few. I've lost quite a few friends on X,
Right.
due to, cancer or whatever,
Right.
other things, or a car accident, things like that.
Right.
But, it's hard to deal with it. It's hard to deal with somebody that you talk to, almost every other day.
Right.
And then one day you get on and you're like, where are they? What happened to them? And,
Yeah, that's that's one thing I'm thankful for. It's like the people, the community, everybody is very there's a lot of good people here, and I wouldn't trade our group of people for any other fucking group of people out there.
mm-mm.
Like the circles that we've traveled, in the last almost 10 years,
Mhm.
some of the greatest,
Yeah.
some of the damn nicest, greatest people I've ever met. And I wouldn't trade that whole, even, I hate the infighting, but I
Yeah.
understand sometimes shit happens, but it's like it has nothing to do with us, but you hate to see two content creators that were friends, now they're fucking enemies and all this. This is weird as shit, but it's life, I guess, is what would happen if they were friends in real life. I mean,
Mhm.
but aside from that, I still enjoy what this community has given me, and it's nothing about money or nothing like that. It's a feeling of being wanted, and not
Belonging.
like there's a lot of people that are welcoming
Mhm.
here, and
When you feel like you belong somewhere.
right, and for that reason, I wouldn't give like the people in your chat, my chat, and everybody's chat that we've all supported. I wouldn't trade none of them. The content creators, everybody else involved, I wouldn't trade them for any other fandom or whatever that's out there. Like it's
Mhm.
something about this particular group of people that we're around. I fucking love them, man. They're great people,
And they're still around. See,
Yeah.
that's another thing. You can be in so many different groups,
Mhm.
and you see someone and then you see them for a month or so, and then you don't see them again.
Right.
And then they come back, like a year later, and they're around for a month or so, and then you don't see them again.
Right.
It's hard to build a relationship with someone you don't very often see.
That's
But when
true.
you see someone in a chat, even if you're not seeing them face to face, but you see their chat and what they're saying, and you're all interacting with each other
Right.
because of what we're watching together
Right.
on a screen, you know that they like what you like because they're here,
That's true.
right? And their comments, depending on what they're talking about, whether or not you agree on those things. See,
Right.
so it's important, just like I said about when we got cut off because of COVID. A lot of people didn't get that anymore. They weren't going to church.
Right.
They weren't allowed to go certain places anymore and hang out.
True.
So they were missing out on this.
That's
Getting to talk back and forth and have
Right.
conversations with another person.
right.
And to me, I think it's important that you get to, I don't know, express your feelings and, talk about something that really pissed you off, or like, whatever, something at this store or whatever. And then the other person says, yeah, I dealt with that person, or,
Right.
we have similarities or lots of things in common. And
Right.
it just feels good to be in a group of people that have a lot of things in common with you. It may not be the exact thing, but like we're all into nerd stuff,
Right.
or geek stuff.
Right.
I already feel like I fit in because I grew up in a house with sisters that I didn't fit in with because I had a sister above me and below me, blondes, that were hourglass figure, and I was straight until I hit 30, and then I started growing. It was really weird. Now I'm got more than I would have had in high school because in high school I was just, Christy McNichol, basically, flat, just straight athletic build. But I'd bring a guy home that asked me out on a date, and they'd beat my sister and say, "Who's that?" And then I wouldn't hear from him again. See, because she was pretty and blonde. So, and I'm brunette. So that's just the way it is. But what I mean is that, we just have to live with some things. There's some things in our lives we can't do anything about, but why keep that trash can over there when you're not allowed to put anything in it?
That's true. Yeah.
So get rid of that trash can, get one for yourself, put it on the other side of the room, and you can put all you want in it. So you got to move around. You got to interact with other people, because after a while it gets stale. It gets sour. All you're hearing is, like you said, the backstabbing and the blah, 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 blah.
Right. Exactly.
So I just step away from that.
Yeah, me too.
If it's really bad, I don't want to be in the middle of it. Now, if it's my friend and I'm trying to support him, I'd say, well, if you really want my opinion, and I'm going to tell them, they may not want to know, but I'm going to be honest about it, because that's what I would expect. If I said, hey, what do you think I should do? And I want the truth. And if you said, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, I think you should just get rid of it. I would more than likely listen to that person, because a person that's going to be honest and tell you the truth is someone who really cares about you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A person that just color codes everything for you, they don't really care what the outcome is for you, really, in the long run. Because if they did, why are they dragging you through the dirt unless you just keep dragging it out? They wouldn't. Like your mom said, it's tough love.
That's true. Yeah, that's
what it is. It is, because if you see somebody that's got a girlfriend that's constantly draining their check week after week after week, and they're not being able to pay their bills, and they're not doing that because they're giving it all to their girlfriend, I would say you need to get rid of that girl. You're not going to have a house. You're not going to have a car. You're not going to have none of this stuff. Not because I want to be your girl, because you are going to have no home, and she's going to dump your ass. You have nothing. You have nothing left. She's leaving you with nothing. So what do you want? Her and that? Or do you want that and get rid of her? That type of thing. So, and I'd want someone to tell me, hey, man, you're in a deep hole and you're just going to drown in there. It'd be honest, and I wish more people would do that. If more people would do that for their friends and their loved ones, there'd be so much less chaos going on, because people are actually being honest with each other and saying, this is a waste of time, or I don't want that job. Why am I'm going for this job simply to make my friends think, wow, look at him, he's got that job. Even though you don't want that job, but you can do that job over there and make almost exactly the same amount of money, but no headache,
True. Yeah.
That's what friends are for. To try to help you have a better life and be happier in your life, if you can have that. So
wow,
that's what I'd want. Good friends are more important than money and fake friends.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and some of us are fortunate, to have good friends that care about us. So yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. Man,
all of us just think back in your past, all the way back to high school or whatever, and think, gosh, if I just had some good friends at that time in my life, where would I be right now? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, everything has its time and place. So
yeah. Well, sometimes we put it on ourselves.
That's true too. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Well, and then we just have to live with it. We have to live with the fact that we did that, and now I'm never doing that again.
Right. The consequences.
So don't forget about it, because that's there. History is there for a reason. Because if you have history and you have it written down, you remember it, and that means it won't happen again if you're smart. People tear up the history and they go, I can just and then you just make the same mistakes over and over again.
Right.
So.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. People are quick to forget. Yeah, people are very quick to forget. You show right. Oh shit. That's too funny.
Well, I hate to say that, but
goodness.
Well, I really want to say thanks for hanging out with me for 2.5 hours.
No, actually, it was great hanging out with you for 2.5 hours.
I appreciate you hanging out. It was fun.
It was
Um,
I tell you what, man, we got to do this again, so
okay, sounds good. Just
yeah,
let me
and
know.
now that I know, what you like, I need to pick your brain a little bit more, but we'll have
Wait,
another time to chat.
you're following me on Discord. I'm following you. You can send me, stuff like
Okay.
Six Nations. He's in my Discord too.
All right.
He's a great guy, and um, yeah, you're right. Fair weather friends, they help you move your couch on Saturday. Yeah, true friends answer a call at 3 a.m. and bring a shovel with no question. 100%. See,
Yeah.
he understands. He understands what I'm talking about. As I remember, he had an illness a little while back, and I remember I was asking Bruce every day, "Have you heard from him?" I haven't heard anything from him. I'm getting worried about
Right.
him, and it's really sucks when nobody worries about you.
Yeah, it does.
And I do that. I got so many people that I send messages to. I just want to say hi and see if you're all right, because I haven't talked to you in a while.
Right.
Just to check on people, because I'll say I haven't seen them on X, haven't seen them on this, that, or whatever it is, especially if I've seen them a lot, here and there. And then all of a sudden you don't hear anything. You don't see anything. It's sad because you don't know. You don't
Yeah,
know what's
sure.
happened to someone, and you have no way of finding out. So it's best to have a lot of friends that are connected, because then one of them is going to know something.
Right. And everybody ends up looking after, each other. So yeah, that's
One reason why I like
right.
the fellowship, or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
that you have with a lot of the YouTubers.
Right.
And one of my friends that I've been worried about is I haven't heard from him, and I sent him a couple messages, but hopefully he'll reach out, because I haven't heard anything from him for a little while.
Right.
But that's all we can do is wait and see.
Yeah. And keep reaching out.
Do what?
And keep reaching out.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Ruben, right? Ruben.
Yeah,
Haynes?
I know Ruben.
Yeah. So I haven't heard from him in a little bit. So hoping he's all right, because I know that last couple of times he was in and out of the hospital. So I'm hoping he's all right. I haven't heard from him. But
well, actually, we got a lot of the same friends. I'll see if I hear anything about him. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Because I have him in a couple of DM groups, and right. I haven't seen him talking in there either. So hopefully he's all right. But I guess I'll have to get ready to get off. It's about, what time is it? Yeah, it's after 10. It's 10:30 for me.
Yeah, same.
What time is it for you?
The same here.
Okay.
It's Central, so yeah.
But I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat, because man, we've had a lively chat tonight.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that showed up. None of us can do it without y'all. So thank y'all for showing up for all of us, and always support. And always support your favorite YouTubers.
Yes, and if you're on X, go ahead and give them a follow on there, because that's another way that you can contact people and send them, messages like, "Hey, I saw your video," or whatever.
Right.
Can I be on your show, or whatever?
Well, yeah, of course.
Keep in contact with each other. So I think it's important too, is just trying to check people out. And I do try to do that. But you know what? The last 6 or 7 months, I've noticed that I'm not getting that many notifications at all from any of the people I follow.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot.
There's a lot of things changing. What I'm hearing is there's a lot of people starting to get shadow banned.
Well, I've definitely shadow banned on X.
Yeah. So when you start getting shadow banned, and I mean, the shadow banning can happen on any one of the social media platforms. It can be YouTube, it could be X, it could be Instagram. And the thing is, it's hard to figure out how to get yourself out of that. But when shit like that happens, it's hard to be seen. At the same time, it's hard to get notifications and a bunch of other shit. So,
Mhm.
you know, and maybe if it's not you, it might be some of the channels that you follow or whatever.
Well, I know it's me because when I started doing politics,
Right.
that's when I started noticing more and more shadow banning.
Mhm.
So it comes with the territory.
Right.
So it's okay. I mean, I'll live through it. It's, but the thing is I'm not going to let them just make me not talk about what I think is important.
Right. Right.
So I'm going to do it anyways.
Right.
But, I didn't have any problems. And it was just me making, whatever, videos.
Right.
They could care less. I don't have a problem with it then. And you'll see your numbers go up. And then all of a sudden you do a couple political videos.
Well, you ever thought about Rumble or Kick?
I'm on Rumble. I'm on Janet's Universe over there.
Well, Janet what?
Janet's Universe, because I made my whole thing for Janet from Another Planet. And then I went to get back in. And I was like, what's my password?
Oh.
I think I accidentally put in a letter or a number on accident that I didn't mean to, because I cannot figure out what my password is. So
let me ask you this. Could you go into your email where that password is connected to that you can't figure out and try to do a reset?
I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah,
but I just made a new one and I called it Janet's Universe because to me it was okay. Well, I just did that, so that's what I've been using.
Well, I mean, I think you can recover your original.
Well, I probably will. I'll have to.
Yeah, you would have to go find an original email from that account and try to reset your password, and that way, you can get back in. Of course, you can do it easily through the emails. So. Man, but okay, because it's funny because I was going through Rumble and I looked for you and I couldn't find you.
Yeah, because it's Janet's Universe.
Now I know why. Okay, all right. Okay.
I never got to finish my other, putting all my stuff on there or anything because I couldn't remember what my password. And I was like, I must have, when you have fingernails, sometimes you might click the letter right next to the one you think you're clicking, and then you say save, and then you go back and you're like, it's not working. It says wrong password, password.
I mean, either fingernails or big hands. So
well, either one, because I just said, I'm gonna make a new one, and this time I used my little, one of those little things that you use on your phone. I used that. And then I did Janet's Universe, and I was like, I like Universe.
You use a stylus pen? Yeah,
I used a stylus because I was like not going to make the same mistake for the second time. Right. And I haven't had any problem at all since I'm Janet's Universe, but that's okay, So I'm on there right now. I'm live streaming right now. This whole
I see it. I see it over there. That's pretty cool. I've never seen that before.
So
this is the first time I've been on a live stream where I'm seeing a live stream go on two different, shits. Yeah, I thought.
But see, I didn't see you add anything.
No, I didn't. I was just, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm here to just
Well, the thing is, I like having it. I pay extra so I can have my guests be able to stream to their show if they want. That's why I put all the little stuff in the beginning so that you can put your stuff in there.
See, I didn't know that should make sense.
But next time we do a show, just make sure you air it to wherever you want, because you can put it on Kick, put it on LinkedIn, you can click whatever it is you want.
Okay.
And but that way, and I do a long intro, and then you can add your intro to it, and then it'd be the show and say it's Janet and I or whatever,
Okay.
But the thing is, I think it's important that the person that I have as a guest knows that I care enough that they should be able to use it too.
Right.
And
I'm sorry. I had no idea.
No, it's all right.
I saw it too.
But next time you'll be able to do it. That's why I say come early so you can set it up so that you can stream.
Well, I came early, but I was hanging out with you, so it was cool. But next time I'll do that. I
And
apologize.
then once you have it, it's like I said, once you have it saved, then you can cut it up and make shorts out of it, or
True.
you can pick highlights or whatever, or you can make a blooper reel, whatever you want. Because that's why I have my channel set not for kids, because I do this a lot. When I tell people,
Yeah, I don't.
kiss
Yeah,
my
my
ass.
sister, not for kids either. Yeah, I curse too much.
So
for that.
I cuss a
Yeah.
little bit, not a lot, because I try not to be, that kind of person. But
Or you try not to be a sailor.
yeah, well, yeah, I try not to be that bad. But sometimes it depends on the situation.
Right.
It calls for a dirty language,
That's true.
whatever it is. But I just want to say thank you again to everyone for hanging out with us, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night, the rest of your evening. And please, if you can, and you like politics, you can come and hang out with me tomorrow night for a little while and enjoy the Friday Night Shit Show, because there's always shit to talk about. I swear, we're never gonna run out. Always gonna have shit. So, what's your plans for tomorrow?
Actually, I was gonna do a live stream pretty early. Not too early, but like maybe about 5, going for about 2 hours, and then just kind of chill. But yeah, I'm always watching your Friday night show, so I'm gonna.
I like to rant a lot.
Yeah, I see, but I'm gonna normally I just sit back and watch and not say shit, but I'm gonna pop in and say
Well,
hi.
a lot of people don't really want to talk, because I'm used to that on X. When you stream on X, you hardly have anyone talk, because if they want to talk, they're going to be in a space. You see what I mean?
Right.
So they have 2 options to do that: either listen or whatever. And it's everybody's. You try to give something to everyone for something. Let someone pick and choose what they want.
Right.
If you have a buffet set out, there's always something they're going to want to take, right?
That's true. Yeah, I agree.
So, thank you very much for joining me this evening. And 24/7 is going to be out there on his channel 24/7, just for you. So go by and say hi, and follow him if you haven't yet. I put it in the chat quite a few times, and when I post this video, after it's uploaded or whatever, I'll go back and make sure his information's in the description of the video.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And I guess I'll talk to everybody later. You guys have a great night. Bye.
Yeah, good night, y'all.